From MVD Visuals' MVD Classics line comes the nitty-gritty, sleazy, drive-in kind of flick Cop Killers from 1977. This was nitty-gritty, grimy, sleazy, fun for me, if you like drive-in kind of movies. So the story, I get choked up when I talk about the drive-in. The story behind this film is as if not more interesting than the story you see within the film, but I'm going to give you the specs, and then we're going to dig in. This is Blu-ray region ABC, which is not based on a Jackson 5 song, but this means that this will be playable worldwide. Any player in the world you throw this into is going to play it, as long as it's a Blu-ray player and it works. It's 93 minutes long, directed by Walter Cichy, and stars Jason Williams, Bill Osco, and Diane Keller. It is 2.0 mono LPCM audio, English subtitles optional if you want them. It looks phenomenal, and it goes a little something like this. Two guys, the film opens in the desert somewhere. I think they're saying it's Arizona. And they engage in a drug deal with a small plane. They make off with the loot. Unfortunately, they come across some police. Even more unfortunately, they shoot all of those police. And then the rest of the movie is these guys on the run trying to get to the place where they're going to trade those drugs for money and then get out of the country to Mexico and Easy Rider-like live high on the hog. So very much like Easy Rider, not to give anything away about Easy Rider, not everything goes according to plan for these guys. As they go, they meet up with more police and more innocent bystanders, and they're trigger happy, and people are just getting blasted left and right. They grab a unwilling female hostage at one point, and it's the noose of doom slowly tightening around these guys who are not, one guy is a bit nicer than the other. The Bill Osco character is the more sympathetic of the two creeps. Jason Williams, who is the star of Flesh Gordon, is the real bad guy in this, the real trigger happy maniac, kill crazy lunatic who'll do anything for a kick. And it's nitty and it's gritty, as I said. It's very 70s. You get some cool storefronts and location photography, but most of it is inside cars, gas stations, motel rooms, desert, on the road. And there's some really terrible acting here and there that makes it even more entertaining. There's a really unique performance by a man who owns and drives an ice cream truck in this film that is unintentionally kind of hilarious. And the moments of violence are just shocking. Occasionally, they whips out a pistol and just blasts somebody, and you're like, whoa, and the blood and so forth. Makeup, speaking of which, is done by Rick Baker, a very young Rick Baker. Slightly before, I guess, he went on to do King Kong. This came out in 77. It might have been shot before that. The story behind the film that was learned from the various peripheral material on this release is that Flesh Gordon had been shot. Flesh Gordon had been shot by people who were making adult films at the time. They got raided by the police because they were making adult films. Flesh Gordon, because it had a lot of nudity and was just part of what was sitting around their offices, got seized. So while there were legal entanglements and things trying to get the materials for Flesh Gordon back so that they could release it, they needed a movie to come out and make money. So they quickly got together this film and shot and released Cop Killers. So Cop Killers was made before Flesh Gordon was released so that they could get money rolling in. So it's some of the same people. The star of Flesh Gordon is the star of this, not that you'd ever know, and some of the same people behind the scenes and things like that. So the extras on this, and the opening and closing credits look a little like maybe they were newly created. They look... Once in a while, this happens where they go back to the original material. I could be wrong. They go back to the original materials and they don't have the titles, or they want to recreate. Some of the Shaw Brothers releases are doing this. They want what's behind the titles to look perfect and not like optically printed garbage compared to the rest of the restoration. So they go back to the preprint materials, I believe they call it, before they put the titles on, and they'll just digitally put the titles on. The titles looked a little off to me. Other than that, this thing looks amazing. The bonus features are a commentary with star Jason Williams and Adam Trash. Incredibly informative. Jason Williams really does not bar any holds when he talks about his people that he worked with on this film and how it came to be. Separate video interview with actor Jason Williams at 16 minutes. It's archival standard def 4:3. The clips used from the film in that interview really show you how much better this Blu-ray looks than previous releases on disc. The trailer is 2 minutes. It's fantastic. It starts off with, "These guys have a message for the cops, and it ain't happy birthday." I love trailers from that era that are like that. Then you get other MVD trailers for films that are vaguely similar. You get Lionheart, LA Wars, Killzone, Mean Guns and Sabotage. This is a really fun release. If you like sleazy 70s movies that are pretty grim, the movie lives up to its title. From MVD Classics, this is Cop Killers.